All right, so today we're working on a 2001 Isuzu Rodeo Sport. This is basically the same as an Isuzu Amigo. This is a V6 Ironman Edition, and it has a bad suspension. This truck comes with the intelligent suspension control, which is an active suspension system that uses an electronic control system to adjust the dampening rate. But it's worn out. It's got a really soft ride, bounces all over the place, and they don't make OEM parts for this anymore, so we're gonna have to put in an aftermarket suspension. Even for the aftermarket suspension, there's nothing that supports the electronic active dampening, so basically we need to put in the suspension for a stock Rodeo Sport that comes with the generic base non-active suspension. However, the mounting points are a little bit different on the rear end, so the parts don't match up, so you need to actually put in for the rear suspension parts that would normally fit I think it's a 91 Isuzu Trooper is the correct length. Alright, so for this car, the most affordable options, there's a Monroe Sensatrack and KYB Gas-a-just are two of the most affordable options that offer at least a reasonable ride quality. So for this car, we've decided to go with the KYB shocks. This was about $180 delivered from Amazon. So they're a good basic general purpose shock. These are monotube shocks. They're not coilovers. There's a pretty good chance I'm going to be able to do this without even taking the wheels off the car. At least for the rear, I think I can do that. Alright, then all four wheels are off the ground. Now we'll go ahead and get under there and see what we need to do to get these shocks out. So the difference between this and a regular Isuzu Rodeo Sport without the active suspension is the addition of this electronics on the top here, which adjusts the suspension. So we're just going to simply disconnect this and replace the shock and leave the wire hanging here. Now this car's been in the Pacific Northwest its whole life, so it's pretty rust free under here, but you may want to spray some penetrating oil. I'm going to spray some just to make it turn a little easier. Okay. Alright, so there's a little nut on the top here. You can put a wrench on it to stop it from rotating. I just use a vice grip for that. I'll rotate through until the vice grip hits something. And then the bolt will come loose. Okay, and it's out. The wiring connection is right here, right behind the shock. So just compress these guys. Pop the wiring out, and then just disconnect it. Okay, old shock is out. Now we're not going to use this wiring, so we'll just tie it back up here. And we'll repeat on the other side. Comes on off. Okay, it looks like on this side the torsion arm bolt is in the way and preventing the shock from coming completely off of its mounting stud. So we'll probably need to disconnect the top end and then squeeze the shock until it comes out of its top hole right here. Rotate it down a bit, and then we'll be able to clear this torsion arm mounting position. I'm going to go ahead and put a jack underneath the differential here just to hold it in place so that I'm not pulling the weight of the differential on the shock tubes. All right, got it. Squeeze and disconnect. Oh yeah, that's a lot of dirt. Okay, so now we'll just lower the differential. And then pull on the tube until it's short enough to clear. Rotate it down. And then we can just pull it right off. We'll rotate it on in. The shock will slowly expand, and during that time we can get all the bits on that we need. This one goes in the bottom, it will go through the hole. And then we'll put the top one through. And then put the giant washer. All right, that one got away from me a little bit, so I had to take it off the car, compress it again, and then put it back on the car. You want to normally have the bushing in your hand ready to go to be able to get it on there nice and fast. Okay, I discovered that the top nut looks like it's the threading doesn't go far enough down on the tubing. So what I'm going to do is put an additional bushing on the inside, top inside, not the bottom inside, because that would affect the ride quality. I'll put it on the top inside here just to take up the slack, so if you hit go off a speed bump or something, that the shock is not flopping around when the car is light and not under a load. This way, I'm not going to run out of threads as I run it down. Run it down. Good and tight, so it doesn't come loose. And finally, I'll restore the nut and washer on the bottom end. Okay, for the front, it looks like I'm going to have better access by taking off the front wheels, so I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so here you can see really well the top of the shock has the electronic control mechanism on it, so we'll be removing that, tying this wiring up out of the way, and then the bottom is just a standard nut and a bolt. All right, so it's 8mm on the top here. All right, it looks like it's using, it might be some type of an air pump to adjust the suspension stiffness. This is a 17mm bolt on the 17mm nut on the top here. And another 17 right underneath it. knock out that nut on the bottom there. And it comes right out. You can see on the top of the shock there's actually a valve there, a Schrader type valve. So looks like it pumps air in and out of the shock in order to adjust the height. Okay, we'll go ahead and slide the new one in. Sometimes it helps to put a screwdriver through to help to align the holes so that the bolt can go through. Once it gets started, you can just tap it in. Quick and easy. Alright, to get the active ride suspension light to go off on the dash, all you need to do is take out this fuse. It's under the hood on the right side of the car. Just pull this fuse out and the light will go off. The car will perform perfectly fine with this fuse out. This fuse only is connected to the active ride suspension. Okay, these are the wiring connectors for the adjustment mechanism on the top of the front shocks. I'm just going to pull these plugs and pull it out of the car. Okay, I've pulled the plugs. I'll just pull it right out of the car. No longer needed. And these are the plugs for the passenger side. We'll do the same thing. Get it right out of the car. It's all done, so I'll take it for a test drive and see how it feels. I can tell you right now, just by pushing up and down on the shocks, it's a lot firmer, especially in the rear. Okay, so I took it for a test drive, and boy, big difference. Feels like a brand new car. I drove it over a few speed bumps. It handles pretty much like a brand new car now. No issues, no bouncing, and it just really feels great. So this is a must-do modification for any older Rodeo Sport with a bad intelligent suspension control. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments. Thanks for watching.